Hey guys, and welcome again to Cooking with a Twist. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lilia and today we're going to be making a meatball recipe. So a while back I posted on my Facebook cooking page that I made a meatball sandwich recipe, and a lot of people seem to really like it and they wanted the recipe for that, which I didn't post on that, so I want to show you today. It's just a few ingredients, it doesn't take much or even time, so let's get to it. So it's like just for you to mix all your ingredients and then combine it with the ground beef. If not, you're going to have a bunch of pieces everywhere. So let me get this egg going a little bit more. Okay, so to this I'm going to add the onions. Finely dice those onions. So it makes it a little easier to combine the meat and for the meat to stay together really, and not, it ends up falling apart. And then to that I'm going to add the garlic powder and the Italian seasonings. So I do this in layers so everything is well mixed in. So it looks about right. And then throwing in the Parmesan cheese. And stir it in again. And then to all of that we throw in, I'm using Italian breadcrumbs. You could use plain breadcrumbs, but these are salty enough so I don't have to use even too much additional salt. And then we can finally add our black pepper to that. And it's just black pepper to taste. And then our milk. I'm gonna let the breadcrumbs soak in, or let the milk soak into the breadcrumbs. If the breadcrumbs are nice and moist, that's actually what helps your meatball to stay nice and fluffy and airy. Okay, that looks about right. Then we could throw in the meat to this. And just do that. Really, the only way to combine all of this is using your hands, so I'm actually going to do that instead of whisking it. So when your meat starts looking like this, you're ready to make your meatballs. As far as the meatball size, I don't like to make a really big meatball because you have to cook it longer. The bigger the meatball, the longer you're going to have to cook it. So I like to make mine kind of small. So I make it about, you could use an ice cream scoop if you want to, if you can find a small one. I do it about that big. Start forming them all about the same size so they all cook evenly. If your meat mixture starts to stick to your hands, just wet your hands and then you can proceed with the meatball. So I've lined my pan with some oil. I'm going to start putting all my meatballs in. So the way we're going to cook this is we're first going to fry them so that it builds a nice crust. Once we've got that crust built on all sides, we're going to bake the rest so it can fully cook through, because it usually doesn't cook through all the way in the pan. I'm using a lean beef. So I'm using a little bit more oil to fry these in. If you're using a fattier meat, you would want to use a little less oil to fry these in. After cooking my meatballs just enough to have that nice crust, I'm now going to bake them in the oven so they can fully cook through at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. And our meatballs are finished. So you could eat this in different ways. You could either eat them with pasta and marinara sauce, or you could eat them in that meatball sandwich that I mentioned earlier, or just simply top it with some kind of barbecue sauce or something. So we're gonna do the taste test. And they're fully cooked. Actually, I already know they were fully cooked, but I just wanted you to see that because they're amazing. So now for the taste test. That was good like always. So I hope you guys like this recipe. And for more recipes like this, please make sure to stay tuned. Thank you.